Hi and welcome to this episode of Zeitgeist podcast with Niklas and Flo. Hi, I'm Niklas.
Hey, I'm Flo.
Today, it's basically the last episode we will record for this year. You will probably see it in the first week of January, and we want to talk about our learnings, what we learned this year. And maybe I will just start with one, and I think that is really important. So what I did a lot with is like working on this podcast, and I'm really grateful that you guys are watching it and subscribed, and also on my presence on Twitter. I want to talk a bit about growth on Twitter, first of all, because that was non-trivial. Like I started the year with around 300 to 400 people, I think. So it was quite small, and I only figured out real growth like mid of the year. And the challenge that you have when you're really small is nobody sees your posts. So you can post, but if you're lucky, you get like that was kind of my status at the beginning of the year. And what worked is a bit like, I never discovered that before, but on X you have communities. And communities, you often have smaller accounts posting, and they have kind of the same problem. They also get like one like. But if you find the niche that you're interested in, you start interacting with people, like replying to their posts, and really also just liking posts and doing that a lot, that kind of leads to yourself kind of building first community. And I think this is like very important lesson. It's a lot of people say if you want to start on Twitter, you should reply, but replying is actually not enough, because if you reply on the For You timeline, you'll be one of 1,000 comments on a large account, and they will never see you. You'll be just somewhere below because they see replies from accounts that they follow. Actually, you will not be visible to them. And so this is kind of what I wanted to share. So growth on X, until you have like 1,000 subscribers, I would really recommend to just be active in communities of your interest and interact there to just grow the community that you're in. And then obviously I was there for fun, but it's a lot nicer if this community around you grows. And now I'm around 2,000 followers, I think. And that changes. Like if you post, you will get comments and you'll get likes. But before that, and you get interactions, but before that, it's really hard. And that's basically the first lesson maybe that I wanted to share, because I really spent a lot of time on it. And I think it might help you if you try the same. So how about you, Flo?
I don't know. At some point, it starts to feel serious, right? I started with my social media experience this year as well. I had like in the past, a few years ago, I had like a small sneaker talk kind of podcast on Twitch. But I believe that we had like 5 subscribers or something. So now things feel a little bit more serious. As you know, I do a lot on TikTok and Instagram. I believe it is a different experience probably than X, because you show yourself in the format of a video or pictures or whatever. And when I started in what was it, in June or July with my first videos, it feels so cringy, and I was embarrassed by myself, like seeing myself talk about stuff. Now it feels way more natural talking about things, and it feels good to give a little bit back to your community. I mean, I try to give advice. If someone is asking me something, I try to answer in the best way I can. I don't know. I read a few months ago, when you talk to people and just, imagine you get like, let's say 10,000 views. And then if you imagine how many people that would be like in real life, I mean, this would fill like a whole arena, like a stadium. When you have like a real big act on stage and talking to 10,000 people is a huge deal. And I really like it. And I still start trying to figure out what's the best way is to grow, obviously, but not at all cost, because you don't want to lose the main audience you build at the beginning. You still want to give them a reason why they followed you in the first place. So I guess it's a tough job to, you know, to make the experience interesting enough to have the people they follow you from the beginning still being part of your community, and then on the other hand still grow on the other hand to make sure that a new audience discovers you and find you interesting enough to give you a follow.
And I think so. I think I'm very similar in that sense. So I'm not like I never tried rage baiting or something like that. It's just not for me. I've heard a lot that it works also to grow your account, obviously, because controversy, the algorithm likes engagement. So rage bait creates engagement. But to me, it's never been really worth it. Like I have this focus that I'm interested in, like tech, business, these kind of topics. I like them, and I like to interact with people that care about the same topic. And if that
Yeah, I guess
grows, I really enjoy
the,
it.
the story you're telling needs to fit to your persona. If you start sell someone which you are not actually are, at some point the whole story gets holes and people will look through you. And so it makes just sense to be real. At the end, in the long run, that's the reason why people will follow you or don't. And I guess this is the fairest take everyone can get.
Yeah, absolutely. So that is one. And then I have one more basically, and I think that is life advice. It's not really from this year, but this year it's been clearer to me again. I think I've never heard an old person complain that they saw too many places, that they spent too much time with their family, or they met too many people. Like this is kind of, and basically if you listen like through the voices, basically, I figured that these are probably topics that you cannot spend too much time with them. So this is also something that I kind of optimized quite a few things around, like seeing places. I would say meeting interesting people, traveling a lot. I think that's very easy to do if you combine it kind of. And also, obviously, our family will not be there forever. So this is also the point. And we are also not on this planet forever, but that's a different story. So I think that's a bit like this year I spent a bit of time like thinking about how to optimize in that direction, and obviously spend more time with people that I actually like. So in a job, you don't always have the chance to optimize that however you want. You're kind of there and have to deal with it. And at least outside of that, so what I got a lot better with, I think, over the years is just cutting out those people that I don't care about and moving on. Like, so I got better at saying no, I would say.
Some content creators will tell you from the beginning that you see with what happens on your social media accounts, who is like a real friend in real life, basically. I mean, all of us, we have Facebook, we have Instagram, stuff like this, and then you start posting things, and at some point you see that, I don't know, 20% maybe are really into the content you're creating. Some people will unfollow you. Some friends will roll with their eyes and think, what are you talking about? But at the end, you will have just a really small pool of people who are really behind who's behind you and helping you growth, and behind the idea of you becoming a content creator, no matter if you're on Instagram, X, or whatever. I mean, the reason why I don't like your posts on X is probably because I am not on X. But that's a different story. But I guess that's the thing. You'll see real quick who is really who really wants you to thrive, who wants to help you to reach the next level. Obviously, as a content creator, you need likes, you need comments, you need stuff like that. And if you have like a friend in real life, it is helpful if he can, just give you one heart.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, and I obviously like all your posts that I see on Instagram. I'm not really a TikTok guy, kind of. I think it just, for me, it's always felt like waste of time. But I'm really watching your TikTok career. It's quite interesting.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, any final advice?
I don't know if I guess and this is what I say to people who are asking me about my journey on social media and so on and so on, and I hear a lot of I like what you're doing, but I couldn't do it because I don't like seeing myself on video or whatever. But I believe if you have like something you want to share and you feel comfortable of doing a video or a picture or like sharing something, just do it. As Nike always says in their, slogan. That's just the only way to figure out if that is really something you are into or not. You need to post constantly, so it makes sense that you like what you are doing. Otherwise, it feels like a burden. And just do it. The cringy feeling goes away. I promise that after 30 videos, I would say. But it is fun and the interaction is pretty cool. I guess a lot of people are scared that maybe some internet Rambos are trying to bash you with mean comments or something like that. This is really like rare. So most people, and I receive a lot of comments, especially on TikTok, are really nice, and I really love interacting with them. So if you have something to share and you want to do it, become a content creator or something, there's a lot of help you can get through ChatGPT, etc., to just make your feet wet and just do it.
Yeah. So I think that is very good words. I couldn't have said it better. So I'm more on X, but that's also social media. And I think there's a lot of value actually in interacting with people that are not from your country. On these platforms, you can really interact with people from all around the world, and it's really nice. So, and then the last point regarding this, maybe to add on it, is if you want to make it somehow get an audience, you cannot. Like, the beginning will be awfully hard. The first 100 followers take, feeling wise, forever. I think that's with like everything in life, like getting it started is just incredibly hard. So if you want to get it done, you have to just continue. Otherwise, you will not make it. Like, winners never quit, quitters never win.
Yep, I agree.
That's it with this episode of Zeitgeist podcast for last one or first one of next year, maybe. Please like and subscribe, and see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.